So, welcome back, viewers. This is episode number 49. We're just one short of half century, and we have a very special guest with us, with Mr. David Mark Peters.
So
Uh,
last time we discussed with David sir about his Web3 experience. Today, as we never got the chance to discuss who is David sir, what all he has done in life. So today we are going to be discussing that. Of course, I have personally done a session with sir, but we don't have a recording for that to put it here. So we are going to do this episode with him.
and
So
for I think for viewers who have watched our previous episode, they know that we go long back with Mr. Peters, and he has been a great support to us. He's been a mentor, and he was actually one of our first clients as well who supported us. So thank you, sir, for that, and welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, Anmol, and thank you, Ashwin. It's a pleasure to be here. I really enjoy interacting with you guys, and let's get started on this.
yeah,
Yes.
sir. Like first,
तो
we would like to
सर
give
की
audience.
थोड़ी तारीफ हमारे मुंह से करें या सर के मुंह से उनकी तारीफ सुने?
नहीं, सर के मुंह से better है। सर के
So थोड़ी हम तारीफ करेंगे bit because sir is a serial entrepreneur and he has held C-level positions in many companies. So sir, I think we won't be able to do justice to what you've done. We'd let you take the lead and help us out.
Yeah, so I've had a vast experience in C-levels, position with global giants like Philip Morris International and Pfizer, amongst other. And currently, I serve as the COO of Rich Learning Global and CEO of CVS Media Group. And I've gained insight into pioneer leadership, nurturing next generation of business leaders, and innovative approaches to global business challenges. So that's a little bit about myself.
That's way too short for what you've done in your entire life. But yes.
Well,
Yes. So the normal question that arises in any aspiring entrepreneur or aspiring professionals is, आप यहाँ तक पहुँचे कैसे यार? I mean, how does one do all these things, these things in one lifetime? So can you just help us out, sir? How it all started for you and how did you reach here?
Yeah, I have personally
well,
talked with sir for 3 to 4 hours on
Yeah,
so long calls to understand his journey. So
yeah.
of course, sir
But this
won't
is
be
for
able to tell you everything, but
our viewers. Yes.
yes,
okay, so it took us 3 hours to go through my entire history of my career.
No, we
Well,
can
we
give.
have only half an hour here, so I'll try to condense it. So
Yes,
sure.
yes. Just an intro.
So
Just an intro.
yeah, I started my career at the age of 19. Yeah, at an age of 19, I quickly realized the importance of adaptability and continuous learning. My early roles taught me the value of patience and perseverance, basically, and how to navigate complex regulatory environment from leading large, diverse teams. And that's how it all started at the age of 19 when I was actually going to be doing an internship in the UK. And I was in India at that time. And then I my dad told me that you're supposed to come to Dubai, and from Dubai, you're going to go to UK to do your internship. And then start working in a company which was a shipbuilding paint company.
Nice.
So I was there, and it didn't. When I came to Dubai, I was waiting to go to England, but that never happened. So I decided I should find looking for a job. But that in Dubai in 1980, it was all sand there. If you ever heard about what Dubai looked like in the 80s,
Right.
it was nothing. There was only one headhunting company there. I saw a little ad in the newspaper. I said, okay, let me try. But I didn't have anything on my resume. Like what? I had just finished, my education, and I was about to. So what do I put in my resume? Nothing. Just my
Neither
name,
did
address,
Dubai.
telephone
Dubai didn't
number.
have anything on their resume either.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. So well,
Yeah.
I got. I just went there, and it was just a husband-wife team. The only employment agency, as we call it. And then I said, I just saw your ad, and I got, but this is my resume. They looked at me and said, "Oh, we'll see what we can do for you. Uh, we'll keep it on file as in standard response that you get." But nevertheless, in about a week, I got a call. And I said, you have a job for you in the largest departmental store in the Gulf, in the whole of Middle East. It's a
Okay.
brand new one. And you are going to be an order budget controller. I said, what? Order budget
My
controller.
question was like,
I
what is
know
that?
nothing. I have no experience in accounting. I have no experience of finance. I was wanting to become an engineer, but he says you have an interview with the CFO of the company. So okay, so I went there. The guy looks at me and says, "You're hired." So don't. I said, "Really? That's good." I said, "You're going to be on a month of training. I got to get somebody from Bahrain who's going to train you on that."
Hmm.
And that was it. Like I said, okay,
That must be
wow.
the
So
shortest
when I told
interview in
my
the
dad,
world.
I said, and yeah, shortest interview. It wasn't nothing. He said they just wanted to hire me. I don't know what it was. They hired me on the spot, and I said, you're going to be trained. I said, next week you come back and you'll have a trainer. You'll be on training for 1 month, and you'll be managing the budget and orders of this whole departmental store, which includes
At 19.
everything from fashion to white goods. Yeah, in a supermarket, uh, produce perishables, non-perishables. You say it like a big supermarket,
Wow.
just like a Walmart. Let's put it this way.
But this position was not something that you wanted, as you just mentioned that you wanted to be an
No,
engineer, but you went into this. So
that's
people
right.
who are
That's right.
listening for our audience, life takes you to places where you don't want to. But let's hear Sir's story next because I know
Yes.
it, so I am excited. So you
Right.
guys should be.
Yeah, and in that it was when I started learning. I started understanding accounting. Those days was ledgers. We didn't have big books that used to keep thick
You
ledgers.
take books. Yes.
Now we have this. We have all these software to
Digital
do the job,
softwares.
but
Yeah.
it was everything manual. Even
So
writing an
you
order was
became a
manual.
CA as well, I will say.
Yeah,
There was
so
no tally. There was
I
no
had nothing,
nothing.
nothing.
No Excel
We
sheets.
had yeah, right,
How
but
difficult
we
it
did.
would be when you will be filing taxes.
It gives me a
Oh,
headache just
You have
thinking
it.
about it.
Exactly.
yeah,
Ashwin
Anmol,
knows.
Anmol knows how much I hate looking at tables. He has to coax me to work on those.
right, right, right. So, I was given the appointment letter. I took it home, and my dad said, "Wow, I never saw this salary when I first started working." And it
Wow.
was, that was a proud moment for him at the age of 19 that I'm getting that kind of a money. And for me, it was also good. Like when I put that number at that time in Indian rupees, I said, "Wow, that's a lot of money." But yeah, so the day came when my training was all done, and I was just put in the ocean to swim.
Hmm.
And I had four buyers. They were all Europeans and American buyers. And my job was to basically see that if whatever they ordered, it fit in the budget. If it did not fit in the budget, I had to reject their order. And I
Wow.
would end up rejecting their orders. And they used to get like, "What? You rejected my order?" I said, "Yes, you don't have the budget to buy." I says, and so they would look upon me as a newbie in the company and a kid. What does he know? What does he understand? So I used to just tell my boss that so don't get intimidated by this thing. You do your
Hmm.
job. That's what you do is correct. If they have a problem, let them come talk to me.
Hmm.
And so that helped me build the confidence. So I had a mentor. I had always had a
So
mentor from the beginning.
they empowered you well, so that you could take
Yes,
decisions. So the
yes,
empowerment was there. Yes.
exactly.
And they also
So
supported you in it, I will say.
correctly.
Yes, of
So
course. I mean, for
coming to that,
decision
you
making,
always
empowerment is a key ingredient to for an employee to make the decisions. So this was a great point.
absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. So, I was like, I don't care. You can yell
Right.
at me, you can swear at me, you can do what you want to thump your fist on my desk and
Mm.
walk out of my office. No. So I really become hard skinned. I said, this is what it needs to do because I'm just into this corporate world. Like I did not know nothing how to handle this thing. And
Mhm.
that molding and encouragement from my boss was everything. I learned a lot. And I grew in the company, from just handling the local Dubai market. They took me on to their own, holding company, the big one, while I handled all the imports uh, for the Middle East, Kuwait, Bahrain, and beyond.
Then what
Duty
was this
free,
time
all
frame?
the.
What was this time frame for you?
It was I worked for them for 7 years in that
Right.
company, and very 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 close to the owners. Like
Right.
they just loved me, and yeah, so handling large volume, or handling budgets and orders for large, like Yashica cameras, Hoover, White Westinghouse, Max Factor, Chanel, Christian Dior, Pfizer. Pfizer, no, not with this one, later on, and all the top brands. Clark Shoes, if you heard about them,
Right.
and uh,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
in India, people
Rochas.
wouldn't have heard of these brands as of now. Now these brands
Yeah,
are quite popular out here, but at that time it was
correct.
right. Hmm.
Yeah, from there on, 7 years later, uh, I was I was seeing this. My workload was going up, but at the point I was seeing I was not growing so financially. I was because I took up I was given a responsibility of a person who was actually making twice what I was making. He
Hmm.
decided to quit, and that responsibility fell on me. I said, "Oh, but I'm not anywhere close to what he was making, because people
Right.
talk in the office, oh,
Hmm.
and I had a secretary, and she said, "You don't seem happy." I said, "You know exactly." So yeah, I know. So she also told me one day, "I think there is a better opportunity for you elsewhere. Also, you should look." And I never had thought about, like, okay, I got this job, I'll be lifelong in this company. And so she said, "I found a job. Maybe you should apply for it." And she actually typed my resume and sent it out without me knowing
Wow.
it, because she just felt, because so yeah, this is not the place for you, because there's some new management came inside, and so that was not helping in any way. Although I was very close to the owners of the company, but then we had other managers in between, and but they didn't take interest in that area, because they had given responsibility for doing all the HR business and things to other people. Yeah, send out this resume, and I was just sitting out there one day and say, this resume is gone. Maybe they will call me. And fair enough. 5 days later, I got a call, and I was asked to come. Had an interview with them, and they said, "Well, you have written what your expectations are." They asked me what my expectation. I said my expectation. I was just trying to compare what the other guy was making in this company. Then they said, "Well, we're going to give you extra than what you've asked, and we want you to join right away." I said, "Wow, that was good. That was pretty fast again." I can't join you. There's a 1 month notice that I need to give my other employer." He says, "Yeah, we'll wait, but that's the offer." And actually, that was almost twice as what I was making. It was double and more, actually. So that was Philip Morris,
Wow.
and from there on, grew in the company, uh, got into setting up offices for them globally, or took me traveling to many many places, Americas
And
and the
so,
Europes.
setting up offices for other people to setting up office for yourself. Tell us about yourself,
Yeah,
and that's
Yeah, that transition you
that
should tell to
transition.
the
yeah. Well, I worked for there. Then I spent 19 years in Dubai, and we decided to move to Canada in 1995, and there where I started on my own. I said, "You know what? I had so much of contacts all over the world. People wanting goods. They wanted to buy stuff, because I knew where to source goods from and what to do. And so I started my entrepreneur journey there, slowly, one step at a time. And it was hard in the beginning, of course. There was so many rejections sometimes you have. but slowly, I kept on it. I said I'm not going to give, because I made a decision now to move here and make it. And it's been 27 years, 27, no, 29 years actually. Yeah, 29
Oh,
years.
yes, it is.
That it is 29 years now in Canada, and it's been tough. People say, oh, the grass is always greener on the other side. It's not. People talk about a land of milk and honey. It's not. It's a land of coffee and donuts, actually,
and and snow.
and snow. Yeah.
Yes.
So started on my own. I started my own consulting firm where I would, uh, you know, have people who are looking for goods uh, in the Middle East and elsewhere to source it from the Americas, and Americans wanting goods from other
Mhm.
part of the world. And so that started my journey. In between, I also started managing. I got a contract for a large manufacturing company where I was doing the complete business operations for them, and they're still my one of the largest client even today.
Amazing.
That's
Now,
amazing.
tell us about your baby projects. I know we worked, and Mola and I, we worked on your website for Safest Media Group. Then, obviously, right now, one of your pet projects is innovations. I mean, the Rich Learning Global.
Yes.
So let's talk about these.
Yeah. So the CFS Media Group is a company where we provide dubbing of foreign language into foreign languages, of English language movies into foreign languages, specifically Indian language and Asian languages.
Mhm.
So Hollywood productions uh, who need to get into the Indian market and beyond. So we provide them dubbing services. That's been going on for now almost 20 years now, and
Mhm.
uh,
And
things
this
are
was something
changing.
very new for Anmol and I when we first spoke to you about this.
Yes.
I mean, it was something very unique. I mean, we didn't
Yes.
even know this was a business. And
Yeah.
how did you even think of it? How did it happen? I mean,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
can,
Tell
So
that story because even till date, this is something like out of the box.
yeah, yeah.
so what happens if you see any Hollywood movie that comes out in India,
Mhm.
it comes out in the English language simultaneously the day it is released in the Americas in Hollywood.
Right.
So let's say if it's any movie just comes out in Hollywood on Friday, it's
Mhm.
released also on the same day in India. Yeah, and also they are released in regional languages, for example, in Tamil and Hindi and Bengali, because the way India is all set up, you know. And so we understood that there is a niche here. So because of our connection in the Hollywood industry, from where my father-in-law used to travel for a non-profit organization, which is all media based, and
Mhm.
it's all about movies. And
Mhm.
so these people say, oh, you know what? And if you go to the big studios to dub it, it's a lot of money. But there are some independent filmmakers who are looking to get this thing done, uh, not too expensive, and that's when we
Mhm.
come in, because we work and for small budgets, and that's how the whole thing come up. And when we give them the pricing, they say, wow, this is a fifth of the price that the studios will cost. I say, yeah, because studios are studios. If you go to
Right.
Sony and Pixar, they have their own studios, they have their overheads, but we don't have their overheads. What you need some dubbing artists that we can get. We need recording personnel, we need sound personnel, and we need some mixing guys, who can mix things around. So it's not a it's
I
they
think
hire the person.
this is even before outsourcing was a word in India, right?
Correct,
Exactly.
correct, yes. So these the producers would come to India, and then we would sit with them. I said, "Wow!" And we would take them to studios. We said, "This is what it is. You'll have a look at it." And they were pretty shocked. I said, "You could do this?" I said, "Yes." And the studios were small. 10 by 10. Like the one guy is sitting in a 10 by 10. Wow. And it appears as he was sitting in a big room, but it's not a 10 by 10. He's got his all equipment in a 10 by 10. You need to do sound recording. You need to go another room and sound recording. We said, oh, get another room. It's another 10 by 10 with all padded walls and everything. So here's the recording. See the sound, see the quality. So wow, this is amazing. So in that way, we were able to get into the market and capture some of the market share.
Wow.
Niche is very important.
Niche is very important. I mean, yeah. And let's talk about the second project that you have, the
Oh
Rich
yes.
Learning. Yes.
So Rich Learning Global. So it's this is my pet. This is one thing that we have been working for. I think this is year 12. 2012 was when I first got involved with this project. It's called a brain-based learning on arts-based platform. It is completely different than the way the child learns, and we have got studies done, and it's been supported by experts in this learning from Tufts universities, from Harvard, and those professors who talk how actually the child learns best. It is through music, dance, and exercise. So if you put all this together, it's like music and song and dance and exercise. You have a theater, and the child learns exactly that way. You don't tell a child to sit, because if you tell a child to sit, you are actually suppressing the child to express himself. The child can express well when he's active. When he's active, the oxygen in the brain moves. So it's a big science about behind. It's called neurology of teaching using music, art, and dance. And you can go to our website, richlearning.com. There are lots of videos
We'll
and
put
lots of
the link
studies
in the
that we've done.
description for our
And
audience.
yeah, and so this has been going on. We've done a lot of testing. We did testing. First, it was tested in a small town in Minnesota with rich kids, means people who could afford sending this child, and the environment was good. Then the second thing we came to India in Chennai, where we had mixed kids, so kids who are of rich parents. There was a middle class and the poorest of the poorest. So we had a mix of these kids and put in the classroom, and the results are exactly the same for each of them. So the environment does not change anything. It's the method that changes everything, which works. So it's not that, okay, if I send my child to a big school, that he'll learn better or she'll learn better. No, it's the method which actually works. And we found out that the method that we are actually trying to tell the world is that's the best way to learn. And it has been found that the results are exactly the same, irrespective of the environment the child is growing up. So after India, in Chennai, we went to Ethiopia, and this is something I must share. It was really, really emotional. So we went to a small little town called Shashamane in Ethiopia, and we were supported by the mayor of the small town to say, okay, they gave us this place, and we got some of our so-called, we don't call our teachers, we call them caste members. So because it's all about music, dance, and theater, right? So it's like cast members. So all the teachers are basically, they are artists, they are musicians, they are dancers. They are not regular teachers. So we had these 100 kids out there, and week 5 is when there is a show, when we call all the parents, and the child has to perform on the stage. And so now it is happening, and the kids are performing on the stage, and kids can actually, a 5-year-old kid between 4 and 5 years can spell devoted. Can you imagine a word devoted? How big is it? And actually spell it and tell what does it mean with music, dance, sign language, music, and dance, with the D and a E and a V, everything. And the parents go, my child can say this. Never learned a word of English, don't know what it is. In 5 weeks can speak and give the complete alphabets and tell things about colors and animals and flowers and stuff like that, and speak this word, like large words. So it was like, wow. And then it was time for wrap up for us. So the show is over, the kids are happy, the parents are happy, and now we have to wrap our stuff and go back to the airport because our program is done. 5 weeks, we are done. As soon as they saw the bags, the kids started crying, wailing. It was a wail, that wail I've never experienced. And I said, what happened all of a sudden? They saying, why are you leaving us? Where are you going with your bags? And then we saw the workers, local, the ayahs or whatever you call them for the kids in India. So those workers started crying as well. I said, wow. I said, don't leave us.
So that was the impact of the entire program.
They were wanting it to happen, but we said, okay, we can teach you. We came here to teach, so you people now, your locals will have to take over and teach it, right? And it was, I was so emotional, like I could not hold it myself, like seeing some small kids, 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids wailing, and again, the parents, and then our cast members, and of course the local cast members as well. So now we are actually in the bus. We're almost like about 15 minutes away into the airport, and we see another bus behind us. They're saying to stop, stop, stop. I said, what stop where? He says, so our guy stopped. He says, we just want to, please don't leave. I said, no, we are leaving. I said, the scene is very bad out back there. Can you please stay? And no, we have to go. We are all booked. We are a team. We are 10 people on this flight. Anyhow, they came to the airport. Even the whole crying thing never stopped there. It was emotional. But so to say that the impact this program has, I really believe that's the way the child will learn, and it's proven so far.
Wonderful. So Anmol, I mean, now that Sir is also a part of Crobstacle and
Yeah.
Safe Media, and let's talk about that a little bit. I'll let you take the lead up for that.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's
Yeah.
been, I think now 4 years we have been associated with Sir. We first associated with Sir, I think in 2020 only, when it was our first 6 months. And as we have been talking, so our conversation started to go longer. I started to engage more with Sir, trying to understand his journey, sharing issues with him, like what to do with my team, how to scale it, and everything. So now that transition from just talking, we are now officially, David Sir is our Canadian partner. He helps us with the Canada business, and as well as he helps us with managing our team, HR issues, because Sir has very rich experience with all the C-suite positions. So he understands how a business runs, how to optimize operations and everything. So Sir is working with us on it. So David Sir, you now I would like you to tell wha- how your journey has been with us, and how do you see it going ahead. Just
Well,
give our audience.
first of all, congratulations on 4 years. It
Thank
just
you, sir.
happened on the 1st of July. Yeah, and
Second.
the amazing team. I'm so glad that I'm on board with you guys, and the kind of job that you guys do. And I've actually met when I came to visit you in
Yes.
Dehradun,
Yeah.
early part of the year. I met your entire staff, and very very pleased and excited actually to see how excited they are in working with these guys. You bring a lot to the company, Anmol as a CEO of the company, and of course Ashwin as a co-founder. You guys are doing an excellent job, and I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to help in any way to lead this company to substantial growth. Yeah.
Thank you,
My
sir.
vision with Crobstacle is to integrate global business insights with cutting edge digital solutions. This role also helps me to leverage my experience and drive innovation in the digital space with you guys. Yeah.
Right. That means a lot. By the way, for our entrepreneurial audience who have been watching this, David sir has given you a lot of insights into his journey. So you need to understand sometimes things don't go with, of course, for us, even me and Ashwin, we write a lot of things on a piece of paper, but at the end, we plan A, happens B. But yeah, that is life. You
So
have
Anmol
to.
and I, we always quote The Alchemist. We're a big fan of Paulo Coelho and that book,
Right.
and it has had a great impact on all our lives. So, sir, when you were telling your story, I was thinking you are the boy from that book, and I think at
Mhm.
certain point of time, all of us have been the boy in The
Right.
Alchemist.
Yes.
so,
Yeah,
so,
that book, whenever you read it, you just start relating it, and every time you read
yes.
it, it's different.
It's
It's a
different,
totally
yes.
different.
And I always say that book finds you only when you actually need it. So
Yeah.
I was telling Anmol, I actually read that book had been lying with me for past 15 years, and I read it right before I met Anmol, and things
Mhm.
started happening, and that's when I told Anmol, now you should read this book now, and he read that book,
Right.
and now that I'm hearing your story,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm glad.
And so, like, any advice you would like to give our audience of entrepreneurs, startup founders, marketers who are watching this episode? Anything,
Sure. Yeah. My advice to anyone, whether you're working or you're an entrepreneur, is to first of all to stay curious and continuously learn and adapt to changing environments. Of course, embrace technology, but also focus on building strong, empathetic relationships. Relationships is everything. Your ability to navigate change and innovate will be crucial for your success. Yeah.
And
I'll
sir,
give you a
something I'd like you to elaborate a little bit. You mentioned just now that I think it's the key word, that's innovation, and be curious.
yes.
That's the key word that I was looking for, and I think that's how you found your niche. So
Correct.
if you could elaborate a little bit more about innovation and finding one's niche, because all of us are looking for that niche, because when we start a business, and sometimes we pretend that we have found that niche, and that's when people go wrong as well. So
Right.
just could you elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah. To finding a niche, I would begin to look into yourself first. What is that something that you would love doing? You actually go back into being curious. Okay, what was I as a growing up as a child and growing into adolescent or growing up into an adult? What are the things that really, really made me happy? The activities that I did. Things like, okay, were you able to? If you're a mechanic, like I want to take engineering because I used to sit with my dad, and he had a motorcycle, and so every month then we would clean up the gaskets, take out the engine and clean. So I got interested in that. So even now I use those skills at home. Like I don't call a plumber to fix my plumbing. I don't call somebody to fix. I do it myself. That helped me because I loved it. And then about being curious is to stay on top. When email first came in 1990, I think it was 95 or 94, 95, and everybody's talking of email. So I started becoming curious about what is this email business. How does it work? I had no idea. I got a job with PSI Net. The PSI Net was the first internet company. William Schrader, who wrote the protocols for internet, was working in the military, in the U.S. military, and then he went out as an entrepreneur as a businessman. And that company, I joined that company. I joined the
Wow.
company to understand what is all this all about. How does this work? And that's how I come to know about all the T1s and talking about ISDN. I talk about POTS line. All this technology, the words that people just take it for granted. What is it? What is it all about? What is fiber?
Right.
So so then after that it was email. My first email was some numbers at I don't know, something to do with P or N and net identity, something there was Netscape. I didn't know
Right.
how it all worked, you know. And then this thing about website. What is a website? What does a website do? And then got it. And so again, staying curious on how does it all work, and that's how when you start to embrace technology, because things are
Right.
moving in life, and that will help you build strong, your foundation in how you want to move.
So you're right. Like finding, finding a niche means being curious, and being curious means asking questions. Is it
Correct.
coming from? So
Yeah.
recently I met another client of mine, and he's in the fabric. The apparel business, and but he does something very niche to that business. He makes the plastic tag that holds the the brand tags,
Mhm.
that plastic string. He
Right.
manufactures
Right.
that, and he manufactures another thing. He manufactures a jet gun, which
Mhm.
actually, because the when you fabric is manufactured, it's not washed, cannot be washed. So then
Right.
he marks on it. These jets are release a very fine jet of water to clean it, and
Mhm.
each kind of fabric has its own power. So how would someone find out about these things unless they would ask questions, and unless
Correct.
we
Absolutely.
don't know. There's so much to one particular industry. There's so
Correct.
many industries that are attached to one industry that
Right.
and you wouldn't find out unless you know. And that's what
Yes.
you've been doing all your life.
Right. And there is no question which is a dumb question.
Right.
You know, you have a question, you just ask,
Yes, and most of
because
us
you
are
never
afraid to
know.
ask questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of people are afraid to ask the question. No, ask the question, and you'll be surprised when you get an answer and say, "Wow, I did not know this." So that's what communication is. You can be sitting down, things to happen, or just things to fall on your lap. You be curious. You go ask questions. You talk to people. You network. You be sociable. You just have to start talking to people.
Just like the expression, all you have to do is ask.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. Ask and you shall
Perfect.
receive. Great, sir. Great talking to you,
My
and thank you
pleasure.
for
Always.
taking out time. From your busy schedule. I know
Oh, not at
it's
all.
morning
For
for
you
you.
guys, anytime.
And day
Yeah,
is
we were
almost
supposed to,
over for us,
yeah,
but it's
we
just
were
begun
supposed
for
to
you.
do this last Thursday, and then I
Right.
realized this was the finals of India and South Africa. I said, "Yeah, Mo, listen, I'm going to be watching their finals." He said, "Yeah,
And you made the
Anmol."
right decision.
He said, "Yeah, he wants to watch the finals too," and say, "Okay, let's do it this
Yes.
week."
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anytime,
Right.
I'm more than happy to jump on this podcast, and let's keep this going on.
Yes, sir. We will.
Thank
We
you.
will. We will
Yes.
have
Yes.
another episode. Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
in
much.
on our
My
episode number
pleasure.
49. Let's do another episode soon. And for our audience, we will put out the social links for David, sir, so you can connect with him or his email as well in the description. And guys, do comment on our episode how you like it. Do share your feedback. If you have any question, do let us know. And thank you once again, David, sir, for watching in. Stay tuned, our
Thank
audience.
you.
We'll be back soon with another episode.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God bless.